Hello everybody, this is Toys R Us, and for this new figure unboxing and review we're going to be looking at the Studio Series Rise of the Beasts. This is the deluxe Wheeljack figure. So in this video we're going to have a detailed look at him in both of his modes, which you can see there, help you to decide how you want to display him. We'll have a look at all the accessories that come with him. We're going to of course bring in some other Wheeljack figures from this particular movie, and indeed some of the rest of the cast as well, to see how he displays. So you can already tell that I've took him out of the box just to speed things up. He does come packaged in his robot mode. There is still windowless boxes, and because he's packaged in his robot mode, we've got a picture on the front of his alternate mode. We can also see a on-screen image of him on the side. It's going to be 28 steps to transform. His backdrop is all to do with this chase scene, and we can see his number is 108. He came attached to the back of the card like that, and he's dead simple to remove. And Johan, he looks all right, to be fair. He doesn't look too bad. I've not heard anything too negative about him. The only thing that is negative is just the fact they called him Wheeljack. They just should have called him any other name under the sun and it wouldn't have really mattered. I think the fact that they called him Wheeljack, it might have knocked a few fans, to be fair. For me, because I differentiate them between the movies and the G1 figures, I can do exactly that. I just want to quickly check the instructions just to make sure that he is exactly as he should be, because sometimes when they're packed into boxes they aren't packaged the right way, but it looks like it is. I think that this bit is folded up. No, it isn't. It's probably folded down the back like that, because I can't see it in any of the images, but we'll know definitely later anyway. Right, the head sculpt, even though it's not the greatest as in what we want to see, it is very detailed. Look, you can make out lips, cheeks, eyes. It will spin around quite far. It is then restricted by just by the sides of the shoulders. It will look up and down though. These shoulders themselves are on ball and sockets, you can see there, so these will go as far as it lets you before it catches onto the back of the doors. It won't, or will it not? I don't want to break this. Oh yeah, you can pull it up to the T. It's a little bit awkward looking, to be honest, and I would presume that that is for a transformation process a bit later on. There is a swivel at the bicep as well as the flexion. There is zero movement at all in the fists. They are just completely molded on. There is a waist swivel. It is literally just above the crotch though, so not really a waist. The hips are on ball and socket, so you've got full range of motion on them. They'll kick out, kick back, etc. There is a thigh swivel, a knee bend, an ankle tilt and rock, and you can, that's again probably transformation, but it looks like you can push the heels down, which means that you could obviously have him looking forward or indeed tipping up. It looks a bit hollow actually, to be fair. I don't know if I'm being overly harsh. Maybe he just feels it. He does feel quite hollow. There is some translucent plastic for the windows. His entire gun, I've just noticed as well, is translucent. But to be honest, as far as first impressions go, he looks okay. He's not blowing me away in any way, shape or form, but he doesn't look too bad at all. Right, let's come back and have a look at him in his alternate mode. Okay, so we're back and he's in his alternate mode, which a few things I want to discuss about this. First and foremost, apologies for no transformation process on this video. The main reason, and I hate to concur with everybody, is it is awful. Loads of people have messaged me telling me how difficult it is. It really is. So it is to keep the main length of the video down, and because I'm doing my very best to upload you a tutorial, because it's unnecessarily difficult, I think is the best thing that I'm going to say. However, when you do get it into the alternate mode, it does look great. Don't forget as well, it is, of course, you can see there, it's a licensed VW product, and it does look really good. I mean, right down obviously to the badge there, the bumper. Once you've got all the panels together, it does look really good. I mean, they've even got the VW there right in the middle of the trim. They could have perhaps put on a few more of the writing. It's not on here, but obviously in the movie there was way more written on the side. And then ironically enough, I think for once this is the only time, no, not really, I was going to say the backdrop might actually work with regards to regards to the figure. The backdrops don't usually work very well. Now the gun, we've worked out, goes on the roof. Now although we never saw that in the movie, apparently it's down to some older concept art. On one of the pictures it had a shot of Wheeljack with the blaster on his roof. Now the The other negative thing, apart from just the transformation process, is the size. It's ridiculous. Look, there's Mirage's Porsche. And it's so... Oh, there's his weapon. It's so out of scale. Now, I know that they obviously mainly just go for robots in scale, but that's ridiculous. Look at it. It's tiny compared to this. It really, really is. Here's another van, I suppose, that's very sort of similar to it, the Stranger Things one, but it's way, way bigger. We got the little Jeep here, which is like a deluxe class as well. And you can see what I mean, but I know that I'm being overly pedantic and a little bit yeah, over the top, but as because they're mainly just supposed to scale in robot mode. But it shows maybe what I'm trying to say, the fact that they've overcomplicated this because everything folds in and tucks in perhaps that little too much. And maybe, as I say, that's the biggest downside of it. I do like the fact you can see his head in there. It would have been nice if perhaps you could open up this ever so slightly. And I suppose this is to give you an idea. This is your tiny core class, and if you remember in the movie, she was able to fit inside. And again, I'm being over the top because not all the figures, of course, do they don't all scale very, very well at all. But apart from that, it doesn't look too bad. It's just perhaps maybe a little bit too difficult to get in. In fact, I'd like to know from anybody in the comments if they're going to be displaying this in the alternate mode, or are they doing perhaps a dual display? Maybe they're going to get both versions, because I just think it's too small, especially if you are going to put it up against any of the other figures. This just makes it look, there you go, there's your deluxe drag strip and there's your deluxe Wheeljacks. That's just to give you it looks like I'm putting a core class figure on top of a deluxe. But that's all I'm going to say pretty much about this. We're going to come back in the final part, getting back in robot mode, and of course do some more of the comparisons that we promised at the beginning. Okay, so I don't normally do this, but I really just wanted to, because for obvious reasons I want to be as honest as possible. So I'm part way through, and I say part way through getting him back to robot mode, and I've got both doors that have fired off. I've got one arm that has come off the ball and socket, and I've even got this that's untapped from the back. But as I say, just to be completely honest and show you the fact that the transformation process on this is crazy. In fact, I might have a go at just popping all these back on whilst I'm talking to you, because I do fully intend, as I say, to get the full transformation process video up. I perhaps just need a few more times at it, having a few more goes at it, but as you can see, it really is ridiculous at the moment, and I don't really want to waste any more time doing this, and that is another full-on exact reason why. There we go. I was going to say why I don't really do the transformations on the main review, but let me get all these pieces on and we'll carry on with the video. Righty then, back for the final time with him in his robot mode, and let's have a look at some of the comparisons then. So as I said, I can't remember the correct term. I'm calling him the weaponizer, but that particular Wheeljack, unfortunately, I have sold on, so I can't bring him in. This is the mainline one, which, to be honest, wasn't that bad. It really wasn't at all. But as you can see, there is much less kit. Well, is there much less? There probably isn't, to be honest. This one is a bit more basic, but it didn't I don't think they needed to go overly as much as they perhaps have with this. They've gone perhaps overly what's the word I'm after, too complicated, overly complicated, that's probably the words that I'm looking for. Obviously this is of course the licensed vehicle, whereas this wasn't, so that's probably your main difference, in honesty. Let's move that out of the way. Let's pop his blaster in here, and of course, as I say, you can move these all around. You could perhaps, if you wanted to, I mean, I don't even know what you can do with that. It just seems huge. I don't think you can. It just makes a big gap appear. You can't really attach anything to it. It's not as if there's any 5mm ports or anything. I don't really know, as I say, what to say with that. I mean, I am going to be displaying him in his robot mode, but yeah, he's quite small, to be honest. If I bring in some of the other figures, I mean, this is an amazing Studio Series figure. I really liked this. I thought Bumblebee was great, and then you forget how small Bumblebee is, and then you stick him next to, obviously, just a normal figure, and Optimus Prime at the moment for me isn't even going to fit. No, he's just about going to fit in there, so that gives you an idea, as I suppose, straight away at just how tall he is with regards to some other deluxe figures. There's Windblade. She's a little bit taller than him. to be honest. Let's bring her out of the way. Now these, I'll just bring in a quick other Bumblebee, to be honest. There's a newer one, so yeah, Wheeljack's towering over him. Now these obviously aren't intended to scale with each other at all. This is just to give you an idea of the size of the figure, depending on the toy line that you collect. So we've got Iron Factory, New Age and Magic Square, and as you'd expect, much taller than all of them. I suppose all that really matters is how he looks, you know, with the rest of the cast from Rise of the Beasts. And then funnily enough, look how small she is as well. You forget, you know, she looks good with Wheeljack, to be honest, because Wheeljack now looks really big. There's not much more I've got to say about the figure, to be honest. It was, in fact, I've just got to remember bringing RC. Oh, I've just dropped her weapon as well. So that's more like the movie. And again, that is where they really do get the scale and everything spot on. So I can't fault them for that. But I think that's pretty much all there is to say about him. It's just such a shame that the transformation process, it isn't really fun. And of course, the be all and end all is these are toys and they're supposed to be fun and you're supposed to enjoy transforming them. And I say it a lot with third-party figures, you know. I'll always say that, to be fair. If there's a figure that I think's really difficult or too overcomplicated to transform, of course I'll always say it. But this one is unfortunately one of them, and it's such a shame because either mode does look great. So I think most people, unless you're constantly transforming it to and fro, will be just keeping him in the one mode. Anyway, guys, I don't want to rain too much down or bring too much of a damper on it, because as you say, he looks really good. I want you to let me know what you think in the comments, because most of you probably got him, to be fair. I was quite late to getting the review done, but there he is. That is Studio Series 108 Rise of the Beasts Wheeljack. Let me know what you think. Take care.